Feeling flexible is wonderful, and feeling flexible in a balanced manner is even better. Therefore, I would like to speak about quite a common imbalance I see between the hamstrings and the lumbar extensors, and I see it quite often in people who are very flexible in their hamstrings. As a rebalancing or to sustain balance exercise, we will do a standing roll down into a forward bend. And I will use this exercise combination to demonstrate you what imbalance I often see, so you have an image. When we are doing a standing roll down, we are aiming for segmental flexion of the spine, flexion of the neck, upper back, and then all the way down into the lower back. The aim is to keep the pelvis as lifted as possible until the fingertips are just above the floor, regardless of flexibility. And at that point, we should have full lumbar flexion. And when the lumbar spine is fully flexed, the muscles, the lumbar extensors, they lengthened and they in part relaxed. And that's what we are aiming for. In contrast, the hamstrings are still slightly engaged. From here, bending the knees, it's a forward fold. Then we are going into a hamstring or a hip extensor stretch. Therefore, we have full flexion in the hip joints. The lower back is not fully flexed anymore. The spine just tractions with gravity. And then we'll engage the pelvic floor, the abdominal muscles, and also the hamstrings, and also the spine extensors to roll us back up. Now, here's what I sometimes see. Looks good in the beginning. So neck flexion, thoracic flexion. Not much happening in the lower back. So the lower back is really restricted. Either the muscles are tight or the fascia is held. Bit gluey, maybe, not so adaptable anymore. And then there is still a lot of hip flexion. So in part, the body is restricted in the lower back, but in part, it's really mobile in the hip joints. The hip extensors lengthen like the hamstrings, but the lumbar extensors or the associated fascia never let go. This is an imbalance worthwhile balancing. It gives you so much more movement freedom and postural ease. Therefore, let's do a roll down together. You can position yourself on the mat with the legs hip distance and parallel, the pelvis centered, the spine fully elongated, and then start with a nodding motion. So you are rolling down slowly, feel the opening in your neck, feel the opening between your shoulder blades, feel the opening in the lower rib region, and then down into your lower back. And now engage your abdominals fully, your pelvic floor fully engaged. And there's also a sense of drawing down, of reaching down from the heels from the sit bones, to the heels. And you have this opposing force of your abdominal muscles and also of your hamstring muscles that lift the pelvis and therefore give you that really healthy lumbar flexion and that opening in your lower back where the muscles are lengthened and relaxed. And then from here, bend the knees, fold forwards. Now you let your pelvic floor abdominals relax, your hamstrings too, let them relax because we are about to stretch them. Now you are folding as deeply as you like, you are in full hip flexion, and now hamstrings are stretched, we integrate. So the pelvic floor abdominals engaged, the hamstring muscles engage to lift the pelvis. The lumbar extensors take over to segmentally elongate the spine as you're coming up, and you have connection again between your hamstrings and your lumbar extensors. A wonderful exercise combination to open the lower back, lengthen the hamstrings, but in balance with the lower back, and then integrate again, engage the very muscles you lengthened in a balanced manner. If you'd like to learn more about functional anatomy, join me in the online course Anatomy 201 at yogajournal.com.